Hello, I am Stephanie Joy, the attorney at All Things Social Security and Joy Disability Law. Your video is about to start. I just wanted to remind you that if you click the join button below, you can learn more about the memberships offered at a very affordable price that can give you a little more direct attorney answers to your questions. Have a great day and enjoy the video. Hey guys, I share, I guess it's a partial event, but I bet you a lot of people have been dealing with this. And not just terribly recently, but it seems like it always can be a problem for people. All right, so this happens to be the lovely state of New Jersey. And I have a new client, who came to me after being denied on reconsideration. It's very recently, like, a couple weeks. And so the job, of course, is to actually, as an attorney, file his appeal for an ALJ hearing. So the way we do it here is we get certain information from our new client in order to do that right. And it's data gathering. There is a packet of pages to include all the medical doctors, or I should say doctors' offices that he has been to since he was last denied. Okay, because that's what the appeal is going to ask for. Since you last told us about treatment, what do you have going on? So he was very timely, very diligent client. I love it. Super sweet. And now, once we have the data in, which was in the last few days, we schedule, because remember, there's a 60-day window, right? And so now we are down to, say, 5 weeks left. So not, more than half the time is left. And we don't like to wait to the last minute. However, we don't usually just get the data in and then just shoot it out, like draft up the appeal and it's all said and done. We like to look at the denial, see which things may be missing from that, certain things to hone on that we will be doing later. So it's kind of like a whole ensemble of things go on at the time you're checking to see if everything's there for the appeal, because things will start to roll after that, particularly when you're heading to an ALJ hearing. And those can come fast or those can be slower. It really depends on where you're at and where that particular hearing office is, situated in terms of their docket and everything. So we had our diary date of, say like a week before the due date, getting it in, blah, blah, blah. But this client is on receiving some sort of state assistance, which many, many people are, once they're unable to work for a few years and need help, while their disability claim is pending. So he had advised that the state caseworker on the state assistance side of it needed proof of appeal. I said, okay, well, when we appeal, she'll get her proof of appeal. Then more recently, I know this is very stressful. Let me know this morning that they said they needed in by the end of the week, or else they're going to close the state case. So basically what they're saying is you have to get us proof that you appealed well before the deadline of which you need to appeal. And so I changed my morning to file this myself. To me, it's less than ideal because we can't do everything in the smooth way that we would do it, but it will work just fine, because I do not like to see my clients stressing over something like that. And it was going to be due long before we planned on getting it out with our workshop and, multiple minds on it. In any event, so I did that. I changed my morning. I did it myself because there was nobody I was going to be able to grab off of a project right now and get them to do it, or to do it and then I get to send it. So I did it. I also drafted a letter to the caseworker explaining the problem I think that the state will have in behaving this way. If someone has this is the way I look at it, okay? I've never had I don't do this kind of law in terms of going after nothing. But if this gentleman has 60 days to get an attorney, get an attorney to review a situation, get the data that the attorney then sends back to the attorney so that the attorney can then analyze, review, pardon me, and draft up a very well vetted, thorough appeal. 60 days. Attorneys, we're usually jam-packed schedules, so that's not something you necessarily do the day you get it. Obviously, you get it and you go, oh, okay, let me see when I can get the group together. Oh, okay, maybe 2 Saturdays from now, whatever. So by making him do this, filing his appeal for SSD way before he's had the full use of those 60 days that the federal rights give him, I think it's a civil rights violation, actually, by the state, potentially. That's not my forte, but I think it could be. So I included in my letter, I said, here's your proof of appeal, but let me just tell you something. Consider this helpful suggestion. Do not be forcing your New Jersey disabled consumers to have to file their appeal before they've done the thorough job they believe they are going to do, and being deprived of the time in which to do it because you want proof of appeal faster than the appeals actually do. Will I make an enemy or two? I don't know. I can't live like that. I have to speak it. So really annoying. What I think they should do, if the person says, I have an attorney and my appeal due date is this date, my attorney can send you a letter saying the appeal is being worked on. It will be done in time, and when it is, we will shoot you over confirmation. That's what they should be doing, not browbeating a disabled person to hurry up. You don't get your 60 days. Not when you're in our back door here in New Jersey. I thought it was really, really poor. They should have either better training or better policy. I don't know which one it is. So hopefully state of New Jersey, which has fallen down on many fronts, will pick up on this one. So anyway, that was my vent for this morning. It just was totally unfair to my client. And yeah, unfair, probably a rights violation, I'm guessing. And obviously threw my day into a wicked loop. Although that's my job. So for me, it's cool. But I just don't think it's right because there's probably thousands of people that this is happening to in that particular state, if not other states. And I just don't know why it has to be that way. Just lift your little phony and call me, and I'll tell you where we're at if that's what you need to know. Anyway, I will talk to you guys later. That was my complaint of the day. Bye-bye now.